All right, let's get this started, you guys. If you don't know who Rob Sperry is, you must be living under a rock. That's okay, we forgive you, but let's just give you guys his quick bio in case it's the first time you've seen him. Rob Sperry was named the #1 network marketing trainer in 2017 by Business for Home. He, in his first year of network marketing, this is like crazy unusual. Like I've never heard of this ever. But his first year in network marketing, you guys, he hit the #1 rank in a company, which was a $1 billion company. He became the #1 recruiter out of 1 million distributors. Talk about 1%, right? And that's using old school methods, which I'm really excited about. He took his old school strategies, merged it into new school. For all you social media people that are afraid to talk to people in real life, he's going to teach us both ways. He's a key player. He was a key player in the largest network marketing merger at the time. And he's a 2 times author now of his books, The Game of Networking. And now since January, he just launched his new book, The Game of Conquering. He's been featured on podcasts, blogs, articles, magazines, you name it. And today he's here to share with us his 17 top strategies to increase recruiting to get the newest person into action fast. So crazily enough, I just got off a coaching call not too long ago. And what did the person say on the phone? I need to recruit. What do I do? And I said, get on this call because we have Rob Sperry teaching us today. This is a topic that never dies in network marketing. It doesn't matter how good you become at this. It's one of those topics you constantly seek out because maybe you've become good at recruiting and then your strategies kind of die out and then you've got to learn something else. So I'm excited to take notes. If you guys have a pen and paper, your iPad, iPhone, whatever you're using to take notes, take massive notes today because Rob's here to share with us his wisdom on his recruiting strategy. So without further ado, Rob, thank you so much for spending the hour with us today. Please take it away. I mean, I just kind of introduced you, but if you want to kind of recap some of that, go for it. We are here ready to take notes and excited to be with you here today.
Well, thanks for having me. Yeah, I just want to add, I like long walks on the beach with the sunset. And I want to thank my mom for writing that bio and sending it to you. It's perfect, right? It doesn't mention all the failures, right? You guys, we all hear, right, the highlights of everything and how someone's doing so well. And behind that, they don't realize all the failures or the fears or right? There's different perception of, is it really failure? Is it we're just learning? We're discovering new insights. And you hear all the time the cliche, if I can do it, you can do it. And I remember just sitting there on stage, or watching people on stage, just rolling my eyes. Everybody says that. Well, there's some truth to it. Cliches are cliches for a reason because they're timeless principles, but at the same time, there's got to be a little bit more explanation to that. So I'm going to give you that explanation. My first couple of days, Jenna, when I started, I came from a background of, I'm naturally an introvert. Right now, I've been yelling at the top of my lungs just so I sound like a normal human being. You and I are just naturally like, we're soft-spoken, we're like chill, like that's just our vibe. If you talk to me in person, a lot of times you're gonna be like, what'd you just say? Because you can't hear me because it sounds like I'm whispering. And that's how I grew up. For me, it was taboo not to speak in church if your leader asked you. And my leader showed up at my house all through my teenage years. And he showed up when I was 18. And I said, you can call me up to the pulpit and I will walk out. That's how scared I was. I wouldn't swing a baseball bat. When I was in 6th grade, my dad said he was going to threaten to ground me. That's actually what I put in the book because it sounds better. He actually said he was going to threaten to spank me, which you don't spank a 6th grader. So that would have been a big kick to the butt. I didn't put that in the book, though. That's between us ladies. And so he did that because I was just like such a scaredy cat. I wouldn't go to anyone's house without my younger brother who was 2 years younger than me. So when I say anyone can do this and I say my tendencies, I mean it. So my first 2 days I start. And what I did is I invited one person. And if you ever, I don't know, Jen, if you ever did a fake invite is where you tell someone how excited you are about network marketing and what you're doing, but then you never invite them. And like a complete idiot, this is what I did. You think, or you hope somehow they're going to ask if they can join, which never happens or works out. So that's what I did. I did the fake invite. And this is your first lesson. My mentor now has made over $30 million. He reached out to me. He's you won't even know his name because he stopped working 12 years ago because he's made so much and is in one of just the legacy long, company's been around forever and ever and ever. Doesn't even show up to his own convention at all. And he says to me, Robert Hollis, you'd know him, Lawn Wardrop. So he says to me, total stud. He says to me, he's like, and I've been teaching his kids tennis for 4 years, best friends with his family. And he says to me this, he says, Rob, he said, who you getting on the phone with me? Now, remember, this is 13 years ago. There's no like Zooms or group chats. It's just three-way calls. That's it, right? I don't care how you're doing third-party validations. Timeless principle, right? He says, who you getting on the phone with me? I'm bringing people to your house tomorrow. And I've never seen this guy's strong personality besides just like a parent. I had heard that he was this wolf in business and that's why he was so successful. So I say to him this, I'm like, yeah, I got people coming to your house tomorrow. And he says to me, he said, Rob, what time are you done with work? I'm like, 2 p.m. He said, I love you as a friend, but if you don't get somebody on with me at 2 p.m., I am done with you forever. I am never working with you again. And then he says this, urgency is synonymous with wealth. Click. The dude hung up on me. I'm thinking, I thought we were friends. And so I got on at 2 p.m. It was a Friday night. It was August 8, 2008. And I reached out to new people from 2 p.m. till 10 p.m. Had he waited, had he been a people pleaser, like I'm a recovering people pleaser, had he waited till the following Monday, I would have become a casualty in the business. Instead of becoming the number one recruiter, I would have been done. I would have created enough excuses where my fears would have beaten out my dreams. And I would have told them why I was too busy. I was teaching tennis. I was running a tennis club, and it's not my style or personality. Tennis clubs called me in several times telling me how awful I am at selling tennis memberships. Rob, you're good at teaching tennis, but you suck at selling. And I would have given him all these excuses. And instead, he understood urgency is synonymous with wealth. And I don't know what your insights are on that, Jenna, but you've seen it time and time again. You're one of the top distributors, right? And you get to be able to see both sides as far as corporate and leading from the field and in the trenches of just this whole, everyone thinks it's Tomorrowland, right? It's like next week, next month, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, right?
Yeah. When HempWorks first launched, actually, it was all about urgency. It was like the timing is never going to be here again. So either you're in or you're out, right? Like, are you in this journey with us or are you not? Like, that was the conversation. And fear of loss is a beautiful thing, isn't it? It really kind of, it forces you into action before you're even ready. And that's something that we've been able to kind of incorporate into our marketing. But yeah, absolutely. Urgency is synonymous with wealth. If you guys didn't write that down, write it down. I can't agree with that more. So absolutely.
And it's one of those things of what I'm going to transition into even before the tips, because our whole goal is value, is I've got a 3-tier system for the income producing activities. And for the income producing activities, tier 1, number 1, and I'm going to give you different ones inside of these tiers. So tier 1, number 1, work in this business is talking to brand new people. If you aren't talking to new people, you aren't working in this business. And what do most people do? They like to do what I call fake work. What's fake work? And I'm making fun of myself too. So don't feel like I'm just making fun of you, because I went through all of this, even as the number one recruiter. Look, my 5th month in the business, I made less than $400 for the month. So I had tons of failures, tons of doubts, tons of blaming other people and saying they got lucky, or I joined too late and the wrong timing. It took me a long time to take responsibility as I went. My 5th month in the business, I worked 80 hours a week and made that amount of money, less than $400 a month. So it wasn't all just this. It was great first month. It was down. But most of us are fake working. Now, what do I mean by that? We make the plan for the plan of the plan. And Jenna reaches out, right? And I like to joke around. So I'm going to do some, don't worry. If you don't say it like this, don't say this. This is just to make a point for all of you, right? And you reach out, right? And you're like, hey, girl, how's it going? How you doing? You probably wouldn't say, hey, girl, but just in case you did. And they're like, oh, I'm crushing the business. Oh, what'd you do? I watched 12 Facebook Lives. 9 of them were Fraser Brooks's, and then I watched 3 of Todd Falcone's. I'm going to watch even more of both of theirs because they were so good. And then I'm going to watch Jenna's after. And then I read 5 books, listened to 6 podcasts. I know the 72 ways the comp plan pays out. I know all the new ingredients. I know Jenna's next kid. I know what the name's going to be, but I can't tell anyone. I am crushing it. And you're like, how many new people did you talk to? Oh, well, I've been doing this attraction marketing thing and thinking about all these things. And so a couple people are probably just going to sign up with my link. They don't even know what hit them. Think and Grow Rich, the secret. And it's like, honestly, it's so simple, the business. And Leonardo da Vinci said it best. He said, simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. We just complicate it. And what we like to do is focus on everything except for the income producing activities, the top ones. So what can I do to pretend like I'm working? Because in a job, you're used to trading time for money. You go work X amount of hours, you're going to get paid X amount of hours. And so now our association is, I'm proclaiming to the world, right? I want this so bad. I'm working so hard. But Jenna, myself, your team leaders, we would rather have you work for 2 hours a week talking to brand new people than 30 hours a week and not talk to anybody brand new, just to give you perspective. So tier 1, number 1, work in this business talking to brand new people. Now, tier 1, number 2, and 3, so we're still in tier 1, is some sort of third-party validation. Whether that's you're utilizing your Facebook groups, whether that's different tools that you have, whether that's doing group chats, right, for third-party validations, whether it's, even if you're going old school, like I love doing 3-way calls or you're doing Zooms, I don't really care. The principle, don't confuse principles with techniques. The principle is what's important. That's another voice. It is so key and it is so critical. Let me tell you how important it is, because sometimes people, they just get away from these basics and they try to take these shortcuts. So this is how important it is. If you go to your doctor, world renowned, and it says take products X, Y, and Z. And then you go to your 2 best friends, and your 2 best friends are like, no, product sucks. Doesn't work. You're listening to your 2 best friends over the world renowned doctor. Are you kidding me? But that's because of how important it is for you to understand third-party validations. Number 3 is add to your lead list. How are you supposed to talk to brand new people if you aren't adding to your lead list? Now, I don't care who it is. I always tell people when they start, talk to people that you know. If it's something you're going to go make happen, it's a great practice, whether they say yes or say no, but you don't limit to that. With social media, there's so many places, Facebook groups, of groups that you're excited about. You can be part of those groups, people that you would naturally connect with. These are people that you can add, and you're consistently doing that on a regular basis, then that's going to help you so you can focus on number 1, number 2. Now, a lot of people say, but what if my team members are putting me in front of new people? Well, then you're talking to brand new people. That's great. You're in the number 1 income producing activity, but this is what most people like to do. They like to go into management mode. And so now they're trying to get everyone else to do what they once did, but are unwilling to continue to do. And they wonder why they don't have success. Because to them, it's net hope marketing, net wish marketing, net lottery ticket marketing. It's not net work marketing. And so they're literally treating it like a lottery ticket. So it's like, what do? They become the super supportive upline, right? It's like, anything you need, I'm here for you. I'm going to help you. Anything. How hard is it? You plug them into Facebook groups, to Zooms. I mean, you guys have so many incredible tools and resources with your leadership and with your company and with your products that, of course, you got to help them get launched. I'm not telling you to abandon them, so don't anybody say that. I'm just telling you, most of you are over nurturing because you don't want to talk to brand new people. You want them to go do what you're so scared to do. And look, that's tough love, because that was me. That's why my first month I crushed it. My 5th month I made less than $400 because I was out here trying to manage everybody. Like, hey, anything you need, they text me right away. I text them back. They call me right away. right? I call them back or anything like that. Now, tier 2 and tier 3. All the tiers are important. Tier 2 and tier 3 as you go is reach out to team members. Okay, but how long does that take? To text them, and if you're a big leader, then you have other leaders in between. You got a mass text you send, to plug them into Zooms like this, to tag them on a Facebook Live, right? To tag them on something in the group, a post, doesn't matter. It doesn't take that long. The next one is nurture current leads and those relationships. Now, nurture, please do not misinterpret this. Sometimes people misinterpret this word. I'm not talking about fake chit chat. Hey, how's the weather? I'm not talking about, oh, Jenna, Rob, I've spoken now to Joey for about 2 years. Do you think I can approach Joey about the business now? Do you think it would be appropriate? No. Look, that's too long. So I know the big question is should I be direct or indirect? I don't care. Here's the principle. If it's the first message, you're Spamela Pamela. Don't be spammy Pammy. If it's longer than the third conversation, now you're stuck in the friend zone. Friend zone is, think if you're still single or were single once upon a time, where you want to date someone and you become such good friends with them, it becomes awkward. Don't get stuck in the friend zone. So I don't care if you do it in your first conversation, not message, or second or third. The principle is be the bold version of you. And people all the time are like, approach them how they want to be approached. How the crap do I know how they want to be approached? I don't know them. I don't know. I'm not going to ask them, hey, how do you want to be approached? How soon should I approach you? Right? So the way you're going to feel good, I know authentic can be an overused word, but is being the bold, authentic version of you. If you're someone that hates when someone doesn't approach you in the first conversation, well, great. Then you should approach everyone in your first conversation. If you're someone who can't stand it, I hate when people just approach me in the first conversation, then don't do it. It's that simple. We just overcomplicate everything. Tier 3. Team trainings, personal development, studying anything relevant to your company. Okay? These 3 things. They're all absolutely incredible. You got to plug in. Now, I think people misinterpret when they hear tier 3, like Rob saying personal development is not important, or team trainings, or studying anything relevant to the company. All right, let me give you some perspective. I've read / listened to over 1,000 books in the last 13 years. I'm obsessive. Like, I just love it. Like, I love learning. But it's learn, action, 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 action. It's not, or it could be learn, action, action, action. It is not, which is what most network marketers do. It's learn, 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 learn. I can't sing very well, else I would. And then it's action. And then it's learn, 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 learn. Action. Can you imagine the Michael Jordan documentary just ended? Can you imagine Michael Jordan in basketball studying how to play basketball 10 hours on YouTube and then going to shoot hoops for 10 minutes a day? I mean, it sounds stupid, but that's what we do as network marketers. It's crazy. And so you got to look, and I do talk about this in the Game of Conquering, is there are 3 groups of people: victims, survivors, and conquerors. And those of you that know me know I have ADHD, which stands for dude has dreams. So I have squirrel moments all the time. And Jenna knew before, I'm like, we'll go in whatever direction as we go, but this just come to my mind. So victim, survivor, and conqueror. Victims focus way too much on the past, right? They're always blaming everyone and everything else. Survivors are widely celebrated. But I would say the vast majority of people, let's say that we're this post-COVID-19 and we've got a massive event going on, okay? Now, by the way, when someone makes you mad post-COVID-19, like, you don't need to punch anybody in the face anymore. You just walk up to them, just go like this. Just like go like this on their face, right? They'll freak out. That's all you need to do. Or you just like go, I've got Rona, sorry. Maybe I went too far, sorry. So, or too soon. But you can have a little bit of fun with it. Just walk around to people, just go like this. Hey, your face is great. What are you putting on it? Okay, ADHD moment. So, the survivors are most people that are at events. You know what a survivor is in network marketing? They've committed to not quitting. That should be celebrated. It's good, but it's not good enough. No one that's a survivor has success until they become a conqueror. You see, conquerors, They learn from the past and they borrow from the future, because survivors are always focused on someday, the future. So they're borrowing from their future and they focus on the present. Conquerors know someday isn't one of the 7 days of the week. Conquerors know that urgency is synonymous with wealth. Conquerors go make it happen. Now, here's another insight for all of you. It's not that you're just one or the other. I'll guarantee, without asking Jenna, and she can go into this in a little bit, and all you top leaders, is every single top leader goes through these different stages. And most top leaders will be more of survivor and conquer, but they just snap out of the survivor mode quicker and they get in the conquer mode. And Jenna and I were just talking about this. So I had a pretty big speaking gig. It was going to be a good amount of money for speaking for an hour. And when this whole COVID-19 hit, it was canceled. And so were two others. It's not like I ran outside and I'm like, yes, this is great. I'm a conqueror. I am so glad that between all these events, I probably just lost 6 figures. So if this is hashtag seriously so blessed. Like, I am just so grateful. No, I was probably a victim for a couple minutes. And then the whole next day I was probably a survivor. And then after that, I'm like, screw that. Screw that. I'm going to be a freaking conqueror. And I'm going to focus on the controllables. What can I control? And what can I do to make this situation right now even better? To make it where it's the best thing that ever happened. And I can't tell you now, a couple months later, that this is the best thing that's ever happened. Me personally and my business. It's been absolutely phenomenal. I get to focus on the things that are most important. And it's just been crazy, crazy time. So that's a lot of talking. I want to hear any of Jenna's insights. I want to make sure, we're going a little bit back and forth here. I know you're interviewing me, but even still, like, I'll always love hearing, whoever's on, and especially such a big leader like yourself, incredible person, your insights.
Yeah, I was actually, I was thinking about an event I went to, an old company convention, at Dale Calvert was speaking, and he was talking about how you got people that are so terrified to pick up the phone that they're literally organizing their paper clips on the desk. They're straightening their papers out. They're like, before I can get to work, I got to clean my office. In fact, I got to clean my whole house, because if my house ain't clean, my office ain't clean, my mind's not going to be right, and I'm probably going to mess up this call. We're so terrified to take that initial action that we become, we stuck in preparing to work mode, right? So that's the biggest waste of time that anybody can do. And success, we've heard this, loves speed, but it's based on the action that you take, right? And you've seen people, in network marketing in general, we say it's a 5-year plan, right? But it's not really about the time, right? Because there's people that have been in network marketing for 10 to 12 years, even longer, and they're still in preparing to work mode because they still haven't gotten over their fear of taking action. They become professional meeting attenders, right? Professional Zoom call attenders, professional Rob Sperry stalkers, and book readers. Like, I love reading too. I'm obsessed. I always have a new book. In fact, if you were in my house, you'd see books all over the place. We've got several places where books are. And it's funny because I mostly listen to them on Audible now. That's, whatever. That just is what it is. But at the same time, if you aren't taking action and applying the things that you're learning, you're literally you're on the same loop that you were before, except maybe you've got a better mindset about it. So in order to truly break through those fears, you have to just jump in and do it. Like, there's no way to acclimate yourself into the game of networking without actually just getting in there and doing it. So I love that. And we always talk about management mode too, but I think sometimes we overthink that as well, right? Because, at first, you're in recruiting mode. I have no team. I have to recruit. There's no other way. Okay, so I do that. Wow, now I have a huge team and they're all asking me a million questions. So naturally, as good people that we are going to naturally be diverted to people asking for our help. But if you are not setting boundaries for yourself and your business, which is, I'm first a recruiter in my business. Second, I'm going to help educate and train and plug people into this training. You've got to have that balance in order to maintain a healthy business, because what happens when you turn into the manager of your business is they start doing the same thing that you're doing. And eventually the whole team stops recruiting. And eventually the volume crashes. And then you're sitting here like, oh, maybe network marketing doesn't work, right? And then we get into our fears again, which reinforces all the action we didn't take. So, nail on the head. Absolutely love your 3 tiers as well. I like that you did incorporate personal development and team training and all the things that we do as network marketers. But again, we're here to talk about recruiting. So, Rob, let's give them a few more strategies that they can implement right now to become the recruiter in their business. If maybe they used to be, they're not now, or if there's somebody that's been in network marketing for the last couple of years and they forgot how to recruit because they've been a manager for so long, how do you snap somebody out of management mode and get them back into recruiting again? I'd like to hear your
so the first thing you said, and we can come back, there's just so much, right? It's like a full circle. I just had like 6 different ideas. I'm like, okay, what are we focusing on first? What are we focusing on first? Because you just get so excited as you go. Is like you said, you just got to do it. I mean, you can think all you want, but you can't think yourself into momentum. You can't think yourself into momentum. Now, thoughts, obviously, yes, they can become things and they're important, but in the end, they only become things because you take action. So you got to do the deal. And part of doing that deal is, and what I want to do is first, what I'm going to do is actually, I'm going to write this down so I don't forget. And I'm going to come back to it. And what I want to do is I want to give you guys a technique right now because we're talking about recruiting. So let's say you don't have credibility. And you're like, well, how do I recruit if I don't have credibility? So here's my tip for you, because I know new levels, new devils, and at different levels, we feel like we don't have enough credibility, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Let me give it to you. So the first thing you got to look at is if you don't have the credibility yet, borrow from your future self. Well, what does that mean, Rob? What are your goals? What are your aspirations? Maybe your goal is to make fill in the blank X amount of money. Maybe it's to go on X amount of family vacations. Maybe it's to do X amount of humanitarian trips. Maybe it's right to get a spouse out of a job. Maybe it's to get yourself out of a job. Maybe it's a plan for a wedding. Maybe it's a plan for, you're going to have a family now, or you're going to have more kids. Whatever it is, borrow from your future self, meaning what are your goals? And so now if I'm going to recruit Jenna, and let's say I'm someone I don't feel like I have any credibility. Maybe I've been in 5 different network marketing companies and I've never had any success. And in my mind, I'm thinking, she's just like, here he goes again, another one of those things. Or maybe she's looking at me like, Rob, he's just never had any success. The dude wouldn't even swing the baseball bat unless his dad threatened to spank him. So why in the crap am I going to want to follow this guy? Well, what I would do is I would sell to Jenna my future self. I would sell my goals. Jenna, and I would just be honest. If I knew she knew I was a flake, I would say that. Now, if it's someone that's more of a colder contact, they don't know, you don't need to say that. But if she knew, I would just say it straight up, like, Jenna, I've been a flake in the last 3 ventures that I've done, and I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I am so excited about what I have now. Fill in the blank, whatever you want. Super simple, though, because you are, another tip, preview the movie, not the movie. And I found the people that have the most amount of success keep it simple, right? I don't care if you believe what you believe in or don't believe in, but you can learn from all influencers. And when you look at Jesus Christ, what does he say? He says stuff like, come follow me. Bam, drops the mic. That's it, right? There's power in brevity. So when you keep things brief, that means you're more secure. When you got to give the deeper explanation, we're typically more insecure. So I go through this, I say that to Jenna, and then after I'm going to tell her my goals. My goal is in the next 2 years, I want to make whatever. Or I want to go on X amount of family vacations, or I want to get out of this job. And I am going to do whatever it takes. And I know everything worthwhile is always going to be harder than we think it's going to be. So what if it takes me 3 or 4 years or 5 years? I am going to do whatever it takes. Do you see how I just sold my commitments? There's no fake it till you make it. I was honest. I've been a flake, right? Now, if it's someone that's colder contact, they don't know that. You don't need to say that. You can erase that part and utilize all the rest. And can you feel that? Do you feel how powerful that is? I promise you. Here's another tip. The world loves boldness. I'm skipping all around on tips, but they go together right now. The world loves boldness. It makes people curious. It's contagious. It makes people want to know more because you're on fire. Whether it's they're attracted to their fire or they just want to come watch you burn, you're on fire. And so people are just like, oh my goodness. Now, boldness, don't get us wrong. I'm right now, like, this is me yelling to just be like, have any energy at all. Jenna and I are just naturally chill. Our boldness and our passion or excitement is going to be different than some of you, right? That are just like the insanely bubbly extroverts. Props to you, right? That's okay. So don't mistaken what I'm saying here as far as boldness goes. I want you to feel like, what is that bold version of you? And I want you to sell your commitments. I want you to sell your future self. And I want you to start to think. Envision yourself at whatever rank. Okay? Envision yourself at whatever huge rank you want to. Say you're 250K, 500, whatever. Maybe for you, it's much, much less. To each their own. Doesn't really matter. How would you act? How would you talk? What would your posture be like? Think like that. Because if you want to become that, you need to start acting like that now. That's what I did. In my mind, in the company I started with 13 years ago, I think they're $3+ million. I had already reached this high level in 3 months in my mind. It took me 10 months to reach it. Now, there was probably out of a million distributors, less than 5 people that did it that year within 2 years. And I think I was one of 2 that did it within a year. But in my mind, I was already there. And so when I hit it, it wasn't some big surprise. It was to the point when I didn't hit the rank, I was pissed off. I wasn't embarrassed. I was pissed off because I felt like I had deserved it based on the effort I put in. And so I demanded it from the world and I expected it. And I made it happen because I demanded it, because I expected it. Compensation, this is really key for all of you right down. I'm going to say it 2 to 3 times. Okay, this is, I made this up and this really helped me get through some really tough times in network marketing. Because I always heard your level of your personal development is where you're going to be in your network marketing business. And I'm like, I saw a lot of examples where that was true, but others, I'm like, so this will make sense to you. Compensation always catches up to skill set and effort, but it's almost always massively delayed. Let me say it again. Compensation always catches up to skill set and effort. Notice I said skill set and effort, but it's almost always, massively is the keyword, delayed. The test before the testimony, the mess before the message, the struggle before the story. It doesn't just, I'm like, here now, where's my check? I didn't see it come in, right? I looked at my direct deposit, right? I switched it over to Bitcoin and I was expecting 5 Bitcoin, didn't show up. What the crap's going on? And it's so key for you to understand because this business can be the most underpaid business in the beginning, but the most overpaid business in the end. So we're talking again, urgency. We're talking about boldness. We're talking about borrowing from your future self as a technique, selling both your goals and selling your commitment. Yeah, I'll repeat it one last time. Compensation always catches up to skill set and effort, but it's almost always massively delayed. Okay? So I know that's a bunch, so we're going to let Jenna recap some and see what we're missing there. She's going to fill in the gaps for me. That's where she helps me out a ton.
When I started with this as an early network marketer, I was so terrified to even say the term MLM, Like there's almost two different societies. Like MLM is this underground society and then has a reputation, has a stigma to the outside world. The outside world is the legitimate path for everyone, right? And that's where all the credibility lives. Credibility is in society on the outside world, and MLM is the underground railroad where only misfits and weirdos collaborate. And who wants to be a part of that, right? So in my mind, when I first got into network marketing, this was my mindset, right? And it was like, okay, I'm going to do this because literally all other options in society suck right now. And I don't want to do those. I don't want to have a job anymore. And I must be a misfit because I don't agree with trading my time for my money. So this is an alternative for me. So I'm going to have to somehow be a covert, like Mission Possible agent to try and convince people in society that they're not in the underground railroad and that it is a legitimate place to be, even before I really believed it myself, right? So when you first kind of get into network marketing, your mindset is, your first obstacle that you have to conquer is being okay with being in network marketing.
Yeah.
That's the first thing you have to do, right? You have to know that it is a legitimate industry. In fact, it's bigger than the NFL. It's bigger than organic products. It's bigger than the video game industry. The only thing different is that in network marketing, instead of the owners keeping all the money and cutting out all the people that could get paid, they pay that money to advertising and marketing instead, right? So people say that, well, I don't want to make money off my friends and family because that's just dishonest. No, we're paying people for referrals, actually, instead of putting the money into our own pockets and allocating the rest to a marketing budget. That's the only difference. The difference is in the distribution. So you have to first accept that you are a network marketer, right? You have to own it first. You have to decide to become a professional in this industry. You got to own it and be proud of it. In fact, it got to the point, like even Todd Falcone said, are you in network marketing? Damn right I'm in network marketing, because if it wasn't network marketing, I wouldn't be near it, because all of that out there is just like not for me. I don't want to trade my time for money. I don't want to work for 50 years of my life and then hope to retire or hope that somebody else makes it in the family that can take care of me, right? Like I don't want that future. So the first thing you have to do is own it. Maybe your future self is who's owning this, right? Maybe it's not you right now because you're brand new. That's okay. That's okay, because your future self is cool with it, right? Your future self knows that this is not a pyramid scheme. Your future self knows the difference. And I remember booking appointments for my business, and I had the mindset that I've already got $1 million in the bank. I didn't. I had negative $3 in the bank, okay? But my mindset was I have $1 million in the bank. And if I have that much money in the bank, how valuable is my time? It's super valuable. Now, was it really in my current reality? No. But my future self already saw my vision in advance, right? I had $1 million in the bank. And because of that, when I made appointments, it was like, are you available at 2 o'clock or 4 o'clock for me to show you what I'm working on right now? Well, I guess I'm available at 2 o'clock. Listen, if you show up to the call, I'll be there for you, and I'll give you all the information. I'll do my presentation, okay? All that will get you the information that you need to make an educated decision. If you don't show up for the call, though, I'm not going to waste my time again, okay? I'm just not, because I'm a millionaire in my mind, right? I'm already a millionaire, and I'm not going to waste my time with people that don't respect me. So having that future self posture, I think, is absolutely key. It's being able to see yourself in the future before you see yourself, or before you're even there, right? You got to have the vision to do that. And I think being bold, which is another thing that you mentioned, is crucial. And how many of us are scared to be bold? And we're so comfortable with being safe because everybody else is safe. We're so, one of the 6 biggest fears, according to Napoleon Hill, is fear of criticism of other people. That's like a major fear, right? We're afraid to be different than everybody else. Why? Because if you say, hey, mom, dad, I just joined one of these networking things, right? I just joined an MLM company, or, I could just join a consumer direct marketing company, or whatever you want to call it. It doesn't even matter. Use your own favorite terminology to describe your company. Or in this case, my daily choice, right? If your parents or whoever you're living with at the time comes back, claps back, right? With, isn't that one of those pyramid schemes? Oh, you're not going to make it. I seen you don't ever make your bed every single day. You think you're going to wake up every day and work your business? Since when did you have that kind of work ethic? You hear all the negativity from the people that think they know you. Well, yeah, they know you based on your past self, but they don't know who you are based on your future self. And you have the ability to change yourself. You have the ability to reinvent yourself at any given moment. In fact, you don't have to be the same you were 15 minutes ago. You don't have to. So you have to be bold. You got to be confident. You got to shut that down. When the negativity is in your circle or around you, in your environment, you got to be bold enough to walk out of it and say, this may have been where I was based on my past, but this is not where I'm going. And if you can't be a supporter in my circle and see where I'm going, then I don't need you around right now. I'll see you in the next couple of years after I make it, and maybe then we can have this conversation again. Because if you're not bold, if you're not confident in the direction that you're going, if you don't believe in yourself, nobody else is going to believe in you either. And that's to be crucial in your recruiting efforts. You got to have that internal fire, that internal confidence, that internal security, knowing that you know exactly where you're going. And it'd be crazy not to follow you because you've got vision and nobody else in your path does right now. So that's what I took out of what you just said. And please, Rob, give us some more knowledge. I'm writing all this down. I'm fired up. How about you guys?
I
if
love
you're fired up in the comments here in the chat.
Oh, I love it because you've lived it. So without us even having a prior conversation about this specific training, we're shooting text to each other. We can get on and just go and do it because we've done it. We've lived it. We're not teaching ideas and philosophies that could happen. We're teaching things that absolutely work. And as you just talked about the fears, look, the mother of all fears is the fear of judgment. You take the fear of in network marketing. Let's talk specific network marketing. The fear of judgment. The fear of judgment is the mother of all fears. The fear of success, the fear of rejection, the fear of failure, the fear of inadequacy, the fear of missing out in network marketing. If you remove the fear of judgment, you don't have those fears. That is the mother of all fears. So when you're talking about being bold and you're talking about borrowing from your future self, and we're talking about actually the number one income producing activity, we're simplifying complex ideas so that you can go out and just take action and make it happen. And that's why when you hear things like, yeah, you've got to have a big vision. If you're brand new, your vision's probably just going to be to make your money back. And that's okay. That's okay. And it's going to grow and expand. But at some point, you're going to be done with the honeymoon stage. And you're going to go through the sophomore slump. At some point, it's just business. Look at the greatest companies in the world. They're not just like this. There's these ebbs and flows as they go. That's how it is. And so you got to ask yourself, is your vision bigger than your mood swings? Because some of you, I'm going to look down. I'm not looking at anyone, but some of you are pretty moody. I'm not looking at any of you at all, right? Maybe some people you know. But that's why you got to make sure that vision is bigger. And this is going to help you. This is a recruiting tip. This is something for you, and this is something for everyone else. The two questions everyone asks themselves comes from the book, The Influencer. Number one, can I do it? You're asking yourself this at every level. Your people that are looking at this as a business are asking themselves that. And the second question becomes more difficult to answer, I believe. Is it worth it? Sure, I could do what Rhiannon is doing. I could do what Aaron and Judy and Tina are doing, but is it worth it? Is it worth it? Is it worth it to get rejected by my friends? Is it worth it to go through this fear of judgment? And it's just people are just going to think I'm spammy pammy, and I'm not. I'm such a giver. I care so much about everyone. I want to give away 99% of my income and bless the world, right? And it's like you're thinking like people are going to look. People are going to judge you no matter what. They're going to judge you because you're too fat. They're going to judge you because you're too skinny. They're going to judge you because you work out too much. They're going to judge you because you don't work out enough. Or they're going to judge you because you do network marketing. They're going to judge you because you don't, because you didn't leave your job soon enough. Like, you got to get over that. It's going to happen. The more impact and influence, it's going to happen. That's why mindset will eat skills and systems for breakfast. And that's why we both talked about that, even though we're intertwining some techniques for you to do. Because think about this, Jen, I was thinking about this with one of the masterminds I was doing with these top leaders. And I asked this question. I've asked it a couple of times. And I said, did you follow some elaborate system right when you started? No. when you crushed it, did you follow some elaborate system? Well, no. What'd you do? Oh, I just did everything wrong, but I took massive action in talking to new people. Bingo, right? It's not to say, why not do that with a good system, which you guys have? It's to say that the most important part of the whole thing is the mindset. The rest of it, yes, look, I make a living off of teaching skills and systems. So trust me, I'm big on them. But I'm just telling you that mindset will eat skills and systems for breakfast. And that's why it's so important that you've got this clear vision and clear picture as you're going out and you're recruiting. You need to talk to yourself more and listen to yourself less. What? Yeah. Because our mind naturally is like, you're not good enough. You can't do this, blah, 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 bull crap. And so anytime a negative thought comes to your mind, I want you to write down 3 solutions. So you can retrain your brain to work for you rather than against you, to the point eventually it's this well-oiled machine. You're a recruiting machine. And now you're getting on with people and you're becoming the most fearless version of yourself. A couple other things, really simple. Most people don't think about this, but it's common sense. And if they think about it, they don't do it often enough. Someone says no to you. These are some of my best recruits ever when I was back in the day in the trenches. How? Because when I first started, I was so scared about reaching out to new people and breaking the ice, truth be told, right? That I thought, how can I make these contacts that have said no contacts forever? So anytime someone said no to me or someone else did a third-party validation with me, I collected them as a contact. I would always ask them, are you okay if I just, sounds like right now is not a great time for you. Are you okay if I keep you posted? Every time they'd say yes. Every time. If they say no, don't message me. Don't at me, okay? I'm sorry if they say no. But it's pretty much almost every time they say yes. I would go to my phone, and in my Google Calendar, I would put a reminder to reach out to them in 2 weeks to a month, non-business related. It doesn't take that long. Literally, it would take me 10 seconds to shoot them a message on Messenger or text or go comment on a couple posts, whatever. I would do it again and set another reminder, this is from day 1, to do this 3 months later. And then after that, I have another reminder to reach back out to them 6 months later. Now, it could be sooner than that. Life could change for you. Maybe there's a new promo. Maybe there's a new product launch. Maybe things change for them. Maybe you just feel like it's the right time based on conversations. So it's not exact science. It's the principle. Remember, extract the principle. But nobody likes the person that's part of the NFL, the No Friends League, the No Friends Left, the all-exclusive club, where what do? Every 2 years, right? That's what they do, is every 2 years they just reach out. Hey, it's been a while. Do you want to join my business? No. 2 years later, hey, want to join my business? Look, it really does not take that long to just be a good freaking human being. And people are like, was that fake chit chat? Is being a good human being fake chit chat? Like, look, just be a good person. It's not that hard. It doesn't take that long. Would you answer a question if they asked you a question, they need something? Of course you would. So I did this. So imagine over the course of time, if I'm talking to new people and my people are talking to new people, I never know if my people are going to quit. So I'm making all their contacts my contacts as well, just in case they do. And so now all of a sudden they're coming back around. Think over the course of time, more and more and more and more. And it made a huge difference as far as recruiting goes. Here's another huge tip. This is going to sound so stupid simple. And my guess is right now, if we were at an event right now, if we were at convention in August and we're just feeling the energy, right? Hopefully you guys aren't walking around just touching my face, right? I'll touch your face, don't touch mine, because I'm not talking COVID-19. I just don't want anyone touching my face, okay? Don't touch my face. So we're having fun, right? And if I asked you this question and I said, how many of you have accountability? Most of you be like, yeah, I do. Say, okay. Well, studies have shown that when you have an accountability partner, you have 95% more success. If you have a specific accountability appointment, 96% more success. I mean, there's all these different studies. So if I said, how many of you are texting someone every single night your exact results? And I don't care if they're simplified of, how many new follow-ups, how many third-party validations, how many new contacts. Every place I've ever been, the highest I've ever seen is 5%. Now, I've seen people where they have a call every so often, or they talk about it, or a group chat every so often, but where they do it every single night, no matter what, and specific to a person. It's crazy. It's like we're running how you would run a real business. You would have checks and balances. You would have an accountability. And Jenny, you know this, we get so excited when we get network marketing. It's like Mel Gibson from Braveheart, where he's, yelling freedom. And everyone's like, yes, I was told what to do by my parents, by my bosses, by my teachers, by everyone. Now I get to do what I want, when I want. And that's when they make the plan for the plan of the plan of the plan. And they're on the scroll patrol, right? And it's like they're following Fraser and I joke, him and I are best friends. We joke all the time. I'm like, some people are following, I'm like, follow the toilet technique too much, right? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, when you start losing circulation when you're on the toilet, probably been on too long on the scroll patrol. It's time to get off the pot. So get off, different pot, right? Get off the toilet. So you get off the toilet and you go understand as you're doing this that you got to be focused on the income producing activities. And part of that is I promise you it will change everything if you just go out and you text every single night. It's so stupid simple, but I've spoken in 18 plus countries the last 3 years, and very few do it. And those that say they do, most, not always, I know some of you are, but most of the time when I get very specific on who are you texting and are you texting every single night and do you have a specific thing you're texting, it's almost nobody. I mean, that would be like, Subway franchise, like, hey, how many customers do we have come in? What was the average order? What was this and this? Like, oh, we don't know. We did good today, though. We worked really, really hard. How are you supposed to work backwards? You go to Jenna and you say you want to hit X rank. She's going to say, okay, how many new contacts do you make in a week? How many of those people are you getting on third-party validations? How many of those people are saying yes? You work backwards. Okay, well, great. Then based on the rank you want to hit, that means you need to contact 100 people this month, and you need to make sure you do 70 third-party validations, and then you can break it down by the day. It's not as hard as we make it, but what we try to do is we're trying to get everyone else to do what we once did and not what we're currently doing. And that's why we go into this massive management mode. And we just keep wondering, like, why have I not had success? So I know that's long-winded. That's a ton. So I'm gonna let the legend Jenna go here, but there's just so much as you go. But those are a couple different techniques and principles for all of you to say, you know what, I am going to apply some of these things right now that will make a huge difference.
So I think we need to all choose a partner, an accountability partner, whether that's your upline, somebody in your team, doesn't matter. Just find somebody you can link up with that you can send your statistics to every single day. What are you working on? How many leads did you get for the day, right? How many of those leads turned into like valid prospects that want to take a tour, right, in our system? How many of those tour takers ended up becoming affiliates and customers? If you're not consistently moving people through this process, then you're not doing your job as a network marketer. I mean, I look at it like you're planting seeds, right? I mean, day one, put it in the ground, cover it up, put some water, add some sunshine. Next day, okay, it sprouts a little bit. Maybe you have to prune the leaves a little bit. Maybe you planted negative seeds that you now need to uproot. Maybe that has to happen. I don't know. But you're moving these things along until you get to the harvest, right? You're moving people along on your list, and you're consistently adding people to your list. So let's find an accountability partner. You guys see this? I'm wearing a Fitbit right now. 7 months pregnant, wearing a Fitbit. And my goal every day is 10,000 steps. And guess what? Josh had to get one as well, because he's not going to let me get to 10,000 steps alone, right? He's going to also compete. He's my accountability partner with just something as simple as that, because we keep each other motivated. We compete with each other all the time. So find somebody, even if it's your spouse, somebody on your team, that you can report to every day, so that you know, like, I did business today. Did I get all the results I wanted to today, even though I did all the work? Maybe not. Maybe it's going to take some time. And be prepared to fail. You're going to fail at this, and it's okay. All right, you first get started, and you may scare off the first 10 leads because of your approach, or maybe your lack of confidence, all these other things we've kind of mentioned, your lack of boldness. But as you get more comfortable and through trial and error, right, you're going to get good at this. And eventually you're going to have 9 out of 10 people sign up instead of 1 out of 10. And it gets easier. And the more practice you get, everybody's scared on the first day of school, everyone, right? That's why the teacher does icebreaker activities, because it makes you more comfortable. And then eventually you're okay being in that environment. Same thing in network marketing. You just got to get your feet wet. You got to get into the environment, get acclimated, get comfortable being uncomfortable, because that's how you know you're growing as a person and becoming a better recruiter. What else? When somebody says no, they're going to say no. So you can anticipate that. You can expect that. Some people are going to say no, but it doesn't mean that you stop following up with them. Like, I look at it like a challenge. When somebody tells me no, I'm like, game on. Like, I'm going to have to get extra creative. And I'm going to, you know what? I'm going to come at you with my business, but I'm going to give you a different perspective. And I'm going to give you a different angle to think about it. So next time I talk to you, you won't even know what hit you, because I'm going to be listening so hard at the things you're telling me. I'm going to hear the clues and I'm going to offer the solution to the problems you're telling me. That's how you become a better networker. That's how you become a better recruiter. I'm not going to do your business. That's the first thing out of my mouth. I'm not going to do your thing, so don't even ask, right? You've already asked me before. But man, my job just gave me a pay cut. Or man, my wife's pissed because we're 2 months late on the rent. I'm hearing you. What you're saying is you're ready to be in marketing. I know you said you weren't, but you just said you were. So maybe we got to look at this one more time. Don't be afraid to throw it back out there. And you're not going to, piss everybody off. And if you do, that's okay. Change your method, because everything's set in stone. In this business, you've got to get used to being flexible. You got to go with the flow. You got to be in the moment with these people. And that's how you're going to make that connection, bridge the gap between the two worlds of society and network marketing, and bring these people into their own greatness. So not everybody's going to be ready for it right now, but that's okay, because we're here because of the relationship. And eventually that relationship is going to turn into, hopefully, a new affiliate or a customer, or just a good contact that maybe give you referrals in the future. So, I know we're just right at our time for this call. Rob, any last words you'd like to kind of end this with before we close out today?
No, I just want to tell you all that I always say find something from any training that you're listening to. And I like to have 2 separate types of notes. So whatever notes you're taking, I like to have a separation of the executables, of the things that you're going to execute. And then what I always teach is write down those executables and then go look at those and prioritize and organize those and start with one. Because ideas are easy, ideas are cute, but go do that. And as you do that, I promise you, then at least you can get things done. And I'm the same thing. I mean, for me, it's taken me time on how to be able to manage my time and maximize it more. So more and more, it's like I've got different lists, and then I make sure what are my top 3 things. I don't move on to number 2 until number 1's done, because we jump from thing to thing to thing, and we need focus. Finish something first before you move on to the next. And then you can come back. You can come back to a lot of these different things as you go about and do it. I will say, if you guys haven't already, and I know a lot of you are international, go get my book. Books are expensive business cards. Those of you that have written books, you know this. I actually lose money when this book ships internationally, just to give you perspective, but it's good karma. It's good influence. And in the end, I feel like it actually pays me a ton, because you get to go out and you get to make a difference. And so I'll put the link for you guys, but I focus a lot on those different mindset and principles that we talked about today. And then I just want to thank Jenna. It was great. Got the text from her yesterday. It's like, hey, you game? I'm like, I'm game. It's perfect. This is my last training of the day because it's my wife's birthday. I secretly rented out a movie theater because you can't have more than 20 people. So I rented it out, and I've got all these people showing up to surprise her in a couple hours. So we're going to go have some fun.
Awesome. Well, happy birthday to your wife. And also, you guys, like Rob said, go get his book. I know we said we were going to cover 17 things. We probably gave you 35 or more. But if you want the full scoop, go get his book. It's on Amazon also. But he's going to post a link for you guys in this chat. And we will see you guys next Tuesday. And the recording of this will be uploaded on mdcweeklyreplay.com. It'll also be available in your back office. Thank you guys for hopping on. We'll see you next week. Bye, guys.